Hello everybody and welcome to another review in Drones Visual. Not long ago, Eachine announced the release of the first FPV quadcopter, the Eachine Racer 250, which is looking pretty good, although it remains to be seen how this quad will fly. In case you want to take a look at it, I'll place a link in the description. Anyways, the FPV quad is not the only product Eachine has released. They have been pretty busy coming up with new products, and now they offer us a Diversity 32 channels FPV monitor that will sell separately and also has part of a kit with the Eachine Racer 250. Banggood was kind enough to allow me to take a look at this monitor, and I want to show it to you so you can have a better idea of what you're getting. The Eachine LCD5802S comes with a 7-inch LCD screen with a resolution of 800 by 480, and it has a 32 channel diversity receiver, which is pretty awesome. For those of you that might not know, diversity receivers tend to be better as they tend to integrate in a smart system two receivers, allowing better reception. Now let's take a look at the contents of the box of the Eachine 58025. Here inside the box we have the Eachine monitor on the right. This one is black, and as far as I know there won't be any more colors available. Then on the left side we have all the cables needed to charge it or to output some video. Let me show you now the content with more detail. First we have the Eachine FPV monitor. Then we have a couple of vertical FPV antennas, although some of you might choose to replace them later with your own favorite kind. Next we have the cable that you can plug into the AV plugs on the side of the monitor. I'll show you that later. Then we have the power supply to charge the internal battery of the FPV monitor. Here you can get a closer look at the connector that goes into the monitor. And here you can see some info about the output current, which in this case is 12 volt DC, and you can also see the polarity of the plug. If you want to connect an external battery, you can do that by using this cable that has a JST plug on the end. Now here's the Eachine FPV monitor, and you can see right away the screen is covered by shade. The shade is very nice, a very nice thing, and as it helps to fly in bright days. Something I'm not happy with this shade, and it's that you can actually remove it. Yeah, you heard me right, you can remove the shade. Basically it comes attached to the plastic frame on the front of the screen, and it cannot be removed. I'll show you later this frame with more details so you can see what I mean. Let us examine some of the features, and here we have the hold that allows you to mount the screen on a tripod, which many of you might be using when flying outside. Then on the side of the monitor we have the AV outputs. This one is the receiver for antenna A, then the one that follows is B, as you can see, well labeled there, and then we have a diversity output. You can plug probably your FPV goggles there. Then on the other side we have a 12 volt DC power input. Here you can plug the charger that I showed you before, and then you have a AV input. On the rear section of the monitor we can find two small speakers. And then on the top section we have two connectors for the two antennas. On the one side we have antenna A and B. If we move to the lower section we can see like the buttons there, the power button, source, then search. We have here in the center the menu button. Then next to it the channel selector. And then the last one is the band selector. If we then move to the left corner, we have three LEDs, the battery indicator, and the LEDs that show whether the signal is coming through a channel, receiver A or receiver B. The two antennas that come with the Eachine FPV monitor are two regular vertical antennas, and as I was mentioning before, many of you might choose to replace them for the ones you prefer. Let's now power the monitor and see how it looks like. The image you see in the screen now is basically coming from the little camera over here, and the camera is actually also from Eachine. The search function in the monitor does not seem to scan all channels. I mean, when you press it, it will switch to the next channel and perform a search, but the search won't cover all channels. I had to switch to bouncy for the best video reception for the receiver. I mean, for the transmitter I'm using, which is a little transmitter you can see on the left side of the screen. I'm not sure you can see it there close to the battery. And for that one I got a better reception using band C, but then again you might need to choose a different one. The channel button allows you to navigate to the next channel, and pressing the search button seems to do the same thing, but perhaps I just need to look at the user manual better, which I don't actually have. The band button will allow you to switch between bands depending on what equipment you're using. You might use a band more than other for better reception. So you can also see on the top left of the screen the band and the channel. Here you can see the LEDs light depending on which receiver the signal is coming from. And so again, so you gain some perspective. I have placed the Eachine FPV monitor here side by side with a known by many of you, a Boscam FPV monitor. As you can see, both monitors are very similar in size, and they look very much alike. This is what I was talking about before. The main frame that holds the shade also holds the buttons and the connector. This connector here. I'll need to unplug the connector to show you a little bit better the frame. So let's go ahead and unplug the connector. Okay, here we have it unplugged now. Now here's the main frame. Now completely detached. You basically removing the shade, as you can see, implies removing the whole front section of the monitor, and that's something many of you might not be eager to do. But then again, as I was saying before, maybe many of you don't actually care about this. Here you can see the main circuit board of the monitor with the signal and power cables that can be easily detached. Then we have the slot here for the monitor, where the monitor connects, and some cushioning for the screen that rests on top of the circuit board. If we move to the right side, we have what it looks like a 2S battery, and I'm not going to remove it now because as you can see, it's glued to the plastic body of the monitor. I wish it would be possible to switch batteries, as I'm not a big fan of internal batteries in FPV screens. But then again, you can also use an external battery with the supplied cable that I showed you before in the unboxing. This is the back of the screen with the cushioning and the main connector that goes into the board. The Eachine FPV monitor is available now, and I believe it costs almost $110 on Banggood's website. What I like about the Eachine was the 32 channels with diversity receivers that you can change basically also channels using a little button instead of the regular sort of channel selector. And then it comes with most cables and the shade. What I did not like was that the shade can be removed and that it has an internal battery. And then the search function, I did not understand well what the difference between the search function and the channel, but maybe I did not understand it because I didn't look at the user manual. There's a better explanation there how that function is supposed to work. I hope you find this review useful. If you do, please like my video, and I would love some comments, some feedback from you. Hope to see you next time.